Superman and Fantastic Four budget soar past $350 million? Huh. Well, let's take a look. So once again, here we are at Cosmic Book News with the details. So, sounds like Matt McGloin once again got the skinny at Comic-Con. So, he says a Hollywood insider filled Cosmic Book News in that both James Gunn's Superman and Marvel's Fantastic Four first steps have blown past their reported budgets, with each now costing over $350 million, far above the widely circulated figure of around $200 million to $225 million. According to the source, the ballooning costs were mainly due to extensive reshoots for both films. Well, did hear for quite a bit of reshoots on Fantastic Four, even really late ones. There were some reshoots for Superman, not a whole lot of evidence of massive reshoots, the likes of which Captain America got and that sort of thing. And a lot of Marvel movies have been reshot and all that, which balloons the cost far beyond what was originally intended to just shoot a movie. And that's the difference between reshoots that can be pickup shots or, entire arcs of the film being reshot. So, in Gunn's Superman, from what they were told, one sequence reportedly involved a scene where Clark Kent yells at Lois Lane for over 10 minutes. Something we were told test audiences absolutely hated. Well, I guess so. 10 minutes of that. My guess is this is the scene where they do get in an argument in Lois's apartment, talking about the war that Superman stopped. And I just don't see why you would have to. It seems like you could edit that down, where the disagreement still happens. They kind of leave upset at one another. Now, where he leaves, that sort of thing. So I'm not really buying that having to redo the scene, unless the whole set's gone. I mean, I don't know. They had to rebuild it. I just. And plus, I would think that you could edit it and maybe a couple of scenes redone to fit it in to where it's not as loud and certainly not as long. So, Gunn also acknowledged the test audiences disliked the now infamous squirrel scene, but he kept it in anyway. This squirrel scene didn't bother me nearly as much as other aspects of the film, so I don't know. I guess they thought it was too silly that he would stop to save a squirrel. I don't know, but then what if the squirrel dies? Then you'd be mad at him for that too. So anyway, previous reports have echoed the same, noting that the original composer was fired. Yeah, that's right. And the film's marketing strategy was completely overhauled. It has been said that Gunn cut 25 minutes from the film. I'm not sure how cutting is akin to the costs of reshoots. So, not seeing a whole lot here that would explain that for Superman. As for the marketing strategy, it looked like they went cheap on that because there wasn't a whole lot, except right up to the last minute. Then you started getting more trailers and that sort of thing. But for the most part, leading up to it, all you ever saw were interviews with James Gunn and him posting himself talking about the film. So I'm not really seeing a lot here that would explain ballooning the costs to as high as $350 million here. Unless, of course, they're just outright lying with the initial amount was. So if Gunn's Superman budget is really north of $350 million, which interestingly lines up with the Cleveland, Ohio tax document Gunn previously dismissed, Well, all right, then. Maybe it was accurate, and we just don't know how much they initially spent. That, reshoots didn't balloon it past the initial number, meaning it was already, over budget. This would put the film's break-even point at over a massive $875 million, based on the industry standard of needing 2.5 times the budget to turn a profit. That's a lot higher than the 2.5 times for a $225 million budget, which is only $562.5 million, which I believe they're on par to achieving. I think this is Superman. So let me refresh it and see. Yep. So right now, as I'm taping this Tuesday morning, worldwide, 503 million, blah, 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 blah. So I guess, sort of, But if it is over 350 million, well, because even if they achieve the number, you still got to figure what do they split, and I guess the 2.5, times the budget, because of what do they got to, what the theaters get and all that. But still, with the overall approach here saying reshoots drove up the budget, well, it doesn't sound like it. Just cutting the film, that shouldn't bloat the budget after the fact, The firing of the composer, maybe, but one of the real weak points of the movie is the music. It's terrible. It's just not that good. And I guess, I forget the guy's name, but something went awry there, and they had to hurry up and slap something together. And, well, So meanwhile, Fantastic Four changed its beginning and ending after early cut. Now, yes, things were changed in there, and from all the rumors about it, that it would be this girl boss thing and all that sort of stuff, and then really it wasn't, at least this version of it. So did they have to reshoot it to the point to get that out of there? The one scene you knew that was a reshot is just because we saw it happening behind the scenes of Julia Garner playing Shala Ball on that beach scene or what have you. And that's in the movie, when apparently in the original cut, none of that was in it. You never did see her as human. So anyway, as for Fantastic Four, reports have said the ending may have been changed. We already know the beginning was, as the director confirmed John Malkovich's role was cut. All right, this is cutting out Red Ghost and the Super Apes. You only saw one of the Super Apes, which looked kind of mean when Reed kicks this poor monkey into the river. You didn't realize this is a super-powered Super Ape because you didn't see the team all together acting out their powers. So I guess for time, they cut it out. Everyone I spoke to at Comic-Con agreed that cutting Malkovich was a mistake and that he should have stayed in the film. I agree. I was looking forward to it, actually. It's a shame, but I guess for time, I don't know. But that's what they did. But again, cutting it out, I don't think that would balloon the cost beyond what it originally was. The Insider revealed that the original ending was much darker, with Galactus destroying Earth and tied to the multiverse. Well, yes, that was always said going through. And since a lot of these rumors turn out to be true, it's either the initial approach, perhaps concept art and that sort of thing was considered to be the plot of the movie, and ultimately they decided not to and changed it to what eventually happened. And that could be true too. So at one point, yes, and then they decided not to. Or, no, they went full steam ahead and it tested so bad, they had to go back and reshoot all that. So that would balloon the cost beyond, what they're claiming. So, tied to the multiverse. Well, the movie itself doesn't tie it to the multiverse, but we already know that it is because of Thunderbolts and all that. And they're letting the cat out of the bag. They did it a long time ago. Avengers Doomsday. That's multiverse. It's the only way this happens. So, anyway, that version appears to have been scrapped in favor of a safer conclusion, which matches recent leaks and rumors and moves away from the multiverse angle. Well, the movie by itself, yes, except at the end where they tell you the Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. Well, how can they end up in an Avengers movie? Oh, multiverse. Right. So last year at Comic-Con, the darker version was already being discussed, including word we were told that the female Silver Surfer would die. And, well, she doesn't. And that the FF escaped their universe and end up in the 616, as teased in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. In the final theatrical cut, however, the female Silver Surfer survives and Galactus doesn't destroy anything, surviving as well. So there you go. Yeah, so perhaps that was the deal for a long time. It was like she ultimately would make the ultimate sacrifice. She still makes a sacrifice at the end. She saves Johnny so that he doesn't have to go. She goes with Galactus into the portal to the other end of the universe. Or perhaps to another universe altogether. Perhaps MCU. Probably. Anyway, but originally she dies. And I suppose Sue, well, dies too, but it comes back because, So anyway, yeah, that could be because it's standard operating procedure for Marvel. The bigger problem here is with the Fantastic Four Earth being destroyed and they escape to the Marvel Universe. Well, what a god-awful ending. You guys suck, so we come to this other universe. Hey, we're fantastic. You are? Why should we listen to you? You lost your world. So it's like, oh yeah. It's okay. There's another Earth for them to go to. No. So, and again, with their world surviving, other rumors have it that their Earth will be featured in Doomsday, and that fits in with the multiverse shenanigans of Secret Wars, the latter Secret Wars, not the original one from the 80s, and it becomes a giant reboot. So they go forward with new recasted characters and that sort of thing. But could it be that they reshot it so much that it's virtually impossible to make their money back? Because Marvel's been doing that. Really, Thunderbolts is the only film I can think of where there really wasn't a whole lot of reports of that sort of thing at all. So it might be their only one that, even if it's only broken even, which I don't know, then it's the most successful film of the year. So the reshoots also added Julia Gardner's human form, Michelle LeBlanc, which matches recent plot leaks and test screening report. Well, not just the reports. People caught shots of her filming those scenes. And it's in the movie. So like Superman, if Fantastic Four really cost over $350 million, it would also need to make $875 million or more just to break even by industry standards. When Marvel got so drunk and used to billion-dollar movies, they keep thinking it's coming back. And of course, Deadpool and Wolverine did it. But that's Deadpool. That's not really Marvel. I know. They're Marvel characters and all that. But Deadpool's in a franchise unto himself. And it achieved that. And people really wanted to see him and Wolverine together. And there you go. That's the deal. So you can't expect that to continue. And as evidence, you've had 3 films since then. And, Well, they're not hitting that mark. Fantastic Four is brand new for the most part, and there was hype for them. This is the movie that sets Marvel straight and everything. And with all said and done, despite its problems, narratively speaking, it's probably better. Certainly better than Brave New World. It's basically on par with Thunderbolts, quality of story-wise. But that's not enough. So, due to the habit and nature of Marvel films, I'm more inclined to believe they reshot a lot to the point of ballooning the budget. Superman, with the only example cited here, is cutting. I don't know. The only thing I could think of is that they were fibbing on this $225 million budget, and it's actually much larger. There's other costs that they just toss aside and don't look at that. So, possibly. But not really seeing any examples here in the article that really detailed anything to do with reshoots that would balloon it to that extent. Whereas the suggestion here is Fantastic Four changed their ending. Had to reshoot it to where it ends the way it does. Cutting out John Malkovich and the Super Apes, that's that in and of itself shouldn't balloon the cost. So, well, we don't know, but they do, and a lot of this could be bad news because so far, now this is just after the first weekend, so Fantastic Four, 216 million worldwide, so we'll see how that goes. Quite the drop off there for Saturday. But anywho, perhaps, just perhaps, I don't know. Trends being what they are, what the legs are for the movies. I'm still betting Superman might still edge it out for its needs. I'm guessing Fantastic Four was more expensive than Superman. It's just a guess, but even with the examples put in this article, that would appear to be the case. But we'll see.